Hello, it's Jason Maneely with Team Maneely, and George is here with me today, and we are here doing a little DIY project in the house. Typically, we're trying to do films about the real estate transaction, but today it's actually about maintaining your house to make sure it is in proper shape for listing and selling. So what today we're doing is we have a little toilet leak here, and it is from the tank to the bowl. And there are little washers that are in the tank that go bad over time, and they just start dripping on the floor. And your inspector will catch it, and it'll have to be something you'll maintain. Now, if you hire a plumber to do this, they're going to charge you a bunch of bucks to come on in. For us, it's going to cost us $6. We went to the Home Depot, picked up a bolt and gasket kit for a whopping $6, and it comes with everything you need. It's got the gasket, it's got the washers, the bolts, and the nuts. And so if you got about a half an hour, you should be able to take care of it pretty easy. You only need a couple of tools. You'll need some long screwdrivers, depending on what kind of bolts you get, either a straight head or a Phillips. You'll need an adjustable wrench, and you'll need a crescent wrench. For this first step on the whole thing is you got to shut the water off to this thing. Hey, nice little plumber's crack there, big fella. First thing is shut the water supply off. So all you have to do is turn this all the way clockwise till it stops. And then that's off. Second step is to flush the toilet. And as you'll see, your tank will start emptying in here, but it won't fill back up because you shut your water supply off. It'll stop, and then you're going to flush it again. And you're going to drain as much water out as possible. You've got your supply shut off, you've got the water drained as much as you can. Now there's two different ways to do this. You can take your shop vac, your wet dry shop vac, if you have one, and suck the remaining water out of there, because there will be a little bit on the bottom. Or if you just want to go old school like me, take your rag, ball it up, put it in there, and then get the remaining water out. That'll dry it out, that'll get the remaining sediment out of there too. That sediment has an effect of breaking down some of those rubber seals as well. So get the rest of the water out of there, and then we'll be able to take it. So our next task on this is to disconnect your water supply line right here from the tank itself. We're going to have to take the whole tank off in order to replace these, the washers and the bolts and everything in there. So you can use your adjustable wrench if it's big enough. Mine's not. So this is why I have the crescent. And all you have to do is grab it and then pull it off, break it, back it up, and then that pulls right off. I have a rag down here, as you'll see, and that's to catch that little bit of water that comes out of it. You can't get it all, so that little bit comes out. Try to keep this up as much as you can, because there's still water in this line. The tank bolts out of the tank, and there's 3 of them in this one. So one here in the back, and then on the other side. Take your adjustable wrench, put it on the nut on the bottom, and then just back them out individually. Kind of a confined space, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. Once you get a couple turns, you will be able to just take it off from the bottom, which will be a lot easier. You can use your fingers. So do all 3 of these, and then you can take the tank off. The tank will be nice and loose. If you want to pull it off, you can. If you think you need to replace your gasket, do so. Mine doesn't need to be replaced, so I'm not going to do it. So all I'm going to do is I put my washers back on my bolt. These are the rubber washers, and this is what will prevent the water from going through. So I just replaced the 3 back in the holes, and then reverse the process. I have got my nuts and my washer, the steel washer for the bottom. So go through all 3, put those back on, only hand tighten them. And then we can look for if the water's coming back. Okay, so we have the tank back on. I've tightened up the bolts. Make sure you only hand tighten it. You go too tight, you can actually take the risk of cracking your bowl. So try to even them out as much as possible. What that'll do is that'll keep it level with your bowl. And that'll also keep a little bit of space away from the wall, so your lid will fit back up on top. Then you want to go and put your water supply back on, tighten that up, hand tight as well, and then turn your water back on, and then we'll check for leaks. We're at the final step. Everything's put back together, water supply, water's back in the tank. Before you do all that, make sure that the water or you've dried everything off in the back, because you're going to start looking for leaks now. And the best way that I've learned to do that is actually with tissue paper. So take your tissue paper and then dab around occasionally around the back, around the top of the bowl, on all the sides. And if you see any watermarks on here, this is the way to tell if there's a leak. A lot of times you can't tell, your hands are kind of cold already from being on the porcelain, and you just can't feel the water as well. Well, they're supposed to show up on here. So assuming that all goes well, everything's tightened up, there's no water leaks, you can put your lid back on. You fixed your leak for $6 without using any plumbers. So I hope everybody has a great day.